At number 1 is Essential Shortcuts. It's basically filled with a bunch of tools. So if your phone is filled with separate applications for calculations, conversions, QR codes, and other small tasks, this application brings all of them into one place, packing more than 26 utilities into a clean and lightweight package, covering everything from scientific calculations and age tracking to password generation, QR code creation, barcode scanning, and even image resizing. So instead of jumping between multiple applications for simple jobs, you can handle most of these everyday tasks from a single dashboard, and that's easy to navigate. And what makes this application useful is the variety of tools compared to other toolkit applications. You even get other useful tools like a color picker for designers, file conversion tools for documents and images, a WhatsApp unsaved number shortcuts, text utilities for quick formatting, URL shortener. The good thing is most features work offline. It has a clean UI and feels smooth, all the tools organized in categories plus a search bar for quick access to specific tools. It supports dark mode, so if you are looking for a handy collection of everyday utilities, Essential Shortcuts is a free, useful all-in-one toolkit you can install from the Play Store. Moving on, this simple application solves a small common issue and it's incredible. Say you regularly switch between Bluetooth headphones, car stereos, Bluetooth speakers, and other devices, you probably found yourself adjusting the volume every single time you connect. The name of this application is Bluetooth Brain, and it takes care of that automatically by remembering your preferred volume level for each Bluetooth device and applying it the moment the device connects. So again, whether it's your car stereo, you can adjust a volume for that, and that will be for one profile. You can then add another device as a second profile, and the app works very smooth. Aside media volume for the free version of the app, premium users can control ring, notification, alarm, and call volumes along with screen brightness settings. You can choose to enable restore the previous volume and brightness settings when the device is connected. The interface stays simple, battery usage is minimal, and everything works offline. Next on the list is FileLoom. With this application, it makes you wonder why Android still relies on so many separate applications just to open different file types. So instead of juggling a PDF reader, an ebook application, image viewer, archive manager, media player, and even a code editor, this application is a clean, modern one to view all these file types, and it supports an impressive range of them. And the interesting thing about this application is how it is built like a general file manager. Plus, it isn't just a file opener, it includes features that makes working with files more practical, like resume support. You can add favorites. There is a recent tab to visit frequently opened files. There is also text search. It also includes file navigation tools and gestures to make reading simple, including text-to-speech, auto-scrolling, switching between light and dark reading themes, tapping to flip pages, and other extensive reading customization options. Archive files can be explored without extracting everything first, and so if your storage is filled with different file types and you are tired of being bounced between multiple applications, FileLoom offers a simple solution by turning your phone into a capable all-in-one file viewer. Now, the next 3 applications focuses on privacy. We have AppLock. It is a straightforward security application that focuses on one job, keeping selected applications away from unauthorized access. You can lock social media applications, messaging tools, galleries, or banking applications using a password, a PIN, or fingerprint. The setup is simple, and once enabled, the app works in the background to block access whenever someone tries to open something you have protected. And one of the standout features is the intruder selfie system. So if someone enters the wrong password, the app quietly uses the front camera to take a photo and stores it in a private gallery with a timestamp and the application they wanted to open. So you can review every failed attempt later. It also includes biometric unlock and options like lock delay and anti-bypass protection. Everything runs locally on the device, and the app relies on usage access and camera permissions to monitor app launches and capture intruder photos. There is a gallery for viewing previous intruders with the choice to delete the records. The next app is Blink. It is similar with a slightly different and useful approach. So instead of simply locking applications behind pins or passwords or even biometrics, Blink can make protected applications appear unavailable altogether. When someone tries to open a protected application, they are quietly sent back to the home screen without any obvious indication that the app is being protected. You can first set up the trigger by saving 5 volume up and down taps. So once you press the buttons in that order, you have the application activated, and any of the selected applications will not open. It just goes back to the home screen when you attempt. And that is the core feature of the app, so you can enable this when handing your phone to someone, and you can disable the app protection once you have your phone back. Beyond the app protection, it also includes a surprisingly deep set of privacy tools. The free version of the app offers a password-protected gallery vault, an app protection, hidden activation methods, SOS mode, and notification controls. Premium features go further with hidden applications, disguised notifications, encrypted contact storage, automatic call log cleanup, emergency call features, and encrypted cloud backups. And similar to App Lock, this app also uses Android's accessibility setting to detect app launches and enforce protection rules. But the developer states that no screen content, passwords, or personal data are transmitted off the device. So for users who want stronger privacy against casual access or unwanted snooping, Blink offers a much more advanced approach than the typical App Lock solution. And the next one is Shutter. It is a camera application built around letting you capture photos and videos without drawing attention to the screen. So instead of using a casual camera preview, it can display a black screen where you can make gestures like tapping the screen to take a picture in the background or even record a video, both with the rear and front camera, and that makes it useful when you want to record or take photos without constantly showing what is happening on your display. Premium users get a disguise like a calculator, notes page, or custom image aside the black screen, plus video recording. Everything you capture is stored in a separate private gallery protected by a pin you set so they don't show up in your gallery. The app supports HD photo and video recording using both the front and rear cameras, and it keeps everything local on the device. It is lightweight, quick to open, and focused on privacy rather than the extra camera effects or editing tools. Moving on, if you get tired of constantly scrolling long articles, social media feeds, chat conversations with one finger, ScrollTap offers a different approach by placing a small floating button on your screen that performs the scrolling for you. You simply position the button where it's most comfortable, tap it, and the app automatically scrolls the page. It can make browsing much convenient when you are reading content for extended periods. The app gives you plenty of control over how scrolling works. You can switch between single scroll and auto scroll modes, adjust the scroll distance and speed, and even customize the floating button size, shape, color, and transparency. And for premium users, you get app-specific presets allowing different scrolling behaviors for different applications. You can enable vibration feedback, which makes interactions feel more responsive. The next app is NFile, and this is an open source file manager I recently came across, and I love the UI and the easy navigation. It is simply a file manager, so you can perform all the basics like deleting, copying and pasting, renaming, creating folders, text files, archives, and it comes with viewing and sorting options, plus a search button to find anything. But it focuses less on plain folder navigation and more on turning your storage into a usable media hub. Images open in a pinch to zoom viewer, videos play through a high-performance player with gestures, and audio files come with a clean player that shows album art, supports precise scrubbing and sleep timer, playback speed, pitch adjustments, plus the app also includes a text editor. It has a polished interface with a dark AMOLED-friendly theme, smooth transitions, and a visual style that leans into a glass-like design instead of the usual basic file browser layout. Everything feels more structured around browsing and interacting with media. It's not a heavy app, but it packs some incredible features for a file manager application. And then we have FloatKit, and it basically lets you keep your most used tools within reach without constantly jumping between applications. It sits on top of whatever you are doing as a floating sidebar, giving you quick access to things like global search, notes, tasks, clipboard history, voice memos, a full app drawer, and even recent screenshots. The standout here is the unified search, which pulls results from local files, media, contacts, notes, and installed applications, so you don't have to remember where anything is stored. Beyond that, it works as a lightweight control center for everyday actions. You can launch applications, adjust volume and brightness, save snippets from your clipboard, or record quick audio notes without leaving your current screen. Everything is stored locally, and the app leans heavily into offline use for its core features. And so for anyone who likes keeping tools closer without cluttering your home screen, just tap the side button, access all the tools, and it goes back to the side. Moving on, Exodus is a very useful tool every Android user must have. It basically gives you a clearer look at what is happening inside the applications you have installed on your phone. It uses the Exodus platform to show which trackers are embedded in each application, along with the permissions applications request. So instead of guessing what applications might be doing in the background, you get a straightforward breakdown before or after you install it. The app is mainly focused on privacy awareness, simply helping you to compare applications, understand what kind of data they may access, and make more informed choices about what stays on your device. Alongside tracker details, it also highlights permissions usage in a simple way, so you can quickly spot for applications that ask for more than they need. Moving on, when you take a screenshot, on most phones, you have the option to delete the screenshot right after sharing it. On Samsung, for example, you can toggle that on and every screenshot gets deleted after sharing it. Unless you really want to save it, this way your gallery isn't full of unwanted screenshots. But how about you wish to keep a screenshot for a while, but then you forget to delete them later, and over time your gallery gets flooded? That is where this application called Mark Auto Screenshot Deleter comes in. It shows a small pop-up that lets you decide whether to keep it, share it, or automatically delete it later. You can set custom auto-delete timers, share screenshots while scheduling them for removal, or enable a silent mode that automatically cleans up every new screenshot in the background. And most importantly, the app also lets you review scheduled deletions, extend timers, or cancel them completely if a screenshot becomes important later. It shows storage saving statistics too. It's a simple app idea, but it's very useful. And while on screenshots, SecureScreen is an application built for anyone who wants extra protection against screenshots and screen recordings in specific applications. So instead of applying restrictions system-wide, it lets you choose exactly which applications should be protected. And since about 90% of installed applications don't have the option to prevent screenshots, once you have this application enabled, it monitors which app is currently in use and automatically applies screenshot and screen recording protection when a selected application is opened. The setup is straightforward with tools for sharing installed apps and managing protection settings from a single place. You can choose between app-wise and system-wide, with the former protecting only selected applications, the latter protecting all applications and even home screen, recents page, notification panel, and almost every page. So drop a like and leave a comment and let me know if you find this application useful. Next, FlowBytes is a real-time internet speed and data usage monitor that keeps everything in plain sight. So if you like monitoring your data usage, it shows the live upload and download speeds through a persistent notification and even a quick setting style, so you can check your connection at a glance. And beyond that, it tracks how each app uses data and lets you set limits. There is even an option to block internet access to applications that reach their usage limits. There's also support for daily and monthly plans, plus alerts when something suddenly starts using more data than expected. It gets more useful with the way it breaks down network habits by including weekly charts that separate Wi-Fi and mobile usage, along with forecasts that estimate where your data usage is heading. You also get a history log of alerts, so it's easy to spot background spikes or apps that quietly drain data. Everything runs offline with no tracking, and the interface sticks to Material 3 styling with dark mode and adaptive colors. Moving on, Hourly Reminder is a minimal hourly chime application that helps you keep track of time without needing to check your phone all the time. It basically alerts you on each hour, and this can be very life-saving. Sometimes you even forget time is coming against you, especially in busy times, so it runs in the background and plays a simple tone on the hour. A mix of short and long sounds that form an easy-to-learn time pattern. You can also replace the default sounds with your own audio files, which makes it a bit more personal if you prefer something different from the built-in tones. There's an option to enable quiet hours from one specific hour to another, so there will be no alerts between those hours. And bedtime can be the best period in this case. The app keeps things very light and focused. From the notification, you can skip the next chime or stop the service completely without opening the app every time. There is also an optional visual pause that can show on the lock screen, along with toggles for sounds and features. It is simple, has a clean layout, basically helping people who just want a quiet, non-intrusive way to stay aware of time. And then we have QuickSlate. It's a lightweight, quick settings Tile toolkit for Android that puts system shortcuts right in the notification shade. So instead of opening settings or applications or digging through menus, it lets you trigger common actions like changing your default assistants, switching your launcher, opening accessibility settings, and managing overlay permissions right from the quick settings panel. It runs fully offline, uses minimal permissions, and avoids background services, simply reducing the number of steps needed to access and perform some system tasks. It feels direct and immediate. It's not an application you can open. You just add the tiles up from the hidden ones and that's it. So those were some open source Android applications I think you should check out. So leave a comment and let me know which one you will be happy to install. Leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, and as always, thank you for watching.